How's it going, everyone? Maximilian here, back with another set and part 2 of the matches I had from FLOE and the other evening. If you guys happen to miss part 1, you can catch the annotation at the top right. But this is going to be a new set of games, and I want to do something a little bit different in this one. Instead of just an introduction, which I did like before, I'm actually going to take you guys through these games, try to give an explanation of what's going on, because some people are having some trouble getting the hang of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and I'm going to try to do my best to explain what's going on in a match like this. So here we go. FLOE's got me in the corner, and he's using Jury, and Jury does really well in the air, like as far as mid-air collisions. I missed my link combo with Ken in the corner, which would have gotten pretty good damage, but Jury goes straight into the launcher, and I miss it. A lot of the times on the roll as well, you won't get the reversal, because the reversal timing window seems smaller, so you got to be really careful about stuff like that. But Ken's approaching with, Ken's approaches with his like jumping short and his cross up and his hurricane kicks are really good. And there's those, man, there's those crazy freaking frame traps that Jin has that are really good. FLOE's also really good at leading into the misstep as well, but I get one of my longer and extended combos that that utilize Ken and Kazuya, but I unfortunately mess up the end of it, and wow, I was hitting Jury there, and Ken did not actually capitalize on Jin coming in. But now I'm low on health, probably should just tag out here. At least I hope I would. Ooh, wrong decision. That can be good for some people that have slow fireballs. You can like EX charge through and get like an EX Tatsu to go through, and you actually can follow up for a combo. Not in that situation though, so trying to space out a little bit with Ken right here. One of the best things, ooh, counter hit into sweep, not too bad. One of the best things that Ken has is that his uppercut on the ground lasts for 3 hits and then throws them into like the launching state. It's really good for going through. Whoa, okay, Ken got thrown up in the Jin glitch. It's really good for situations where you want to get another character in or tag them in for the later part of a combo. Here's more examples of Jin and his crazy frame traps, and right there you see it happen, where I'm able to get a extended tag and get the next character in safely because Ken's uppercut stays on the ground quite a bit. And wow, look at the damage Jury's able to pull off just with the super off of a cross rush. That's pretty good. And once again, Jury colliding in the air, and Kazuya is going to get hit. But now I've got an opportunity to get a lot of damage, and if I can follow through to get all the way to the ender, no, I went low forward into Hurricane Kick, which has no follow-up, but it got me a throw, which isn't too bad. So this round is looking pretty good for myself. Even though I just missed the link combo with Ken, that's going to be a little rough. Ooh, probably going for that charge too much, and I'm being way too ambitious with that freaking uppercut. Ken's light uppercut can be good because you can follow it up for another combo afterwards, but not right here, man. I'm probably using it a little bit too much just because I want to finish the round. Need to get an uppercut and get Kazuya in as soon as possible if I want to stay alive, but while we're just dancing around each other, and I realize the time is already a factor, and FLOE with those misstep cancels, he's getting this stuff down pretty well, and he's blocking the overhead, and this should just about do it. Yep, FLOE takes the game on time. Red team wins. So here we go, next game up, round 2. And starting off with Ken and Jin spacing with some fireballs, but special steps in and gets swept. Cross up into throw, into another throw. FLOE getting hit by a lot of stuff right now, and I choose to back out of there. Play some fireball wars, and wow, the special step went right in front of my face. And he goes straight for the cross rush into Rufus. That's interesting that FLOE switched to Rufus right now, and he's actually not using Jury. Ooh, and I canceled into Kazuya just at the right time to get his to get him in. I went for Kazuya's I call it the Sparta kick, because it's like you're kicking the dude down the hole, because it's an overhead. It's a mid technically. It's pretty crazy. If I see it used, I'll let you guys know. But I capitalize on the counter hit, but I use the EX version of the I think that's the Slaughter Hook misstep. I'm not too sure. But now Jin is in. He's going to work some spacing out with those fireballs. And if he catches you with a chain combo in midair, it actually causes a hard knockdown. It's pretty interesting. But Jin gets the kick in the air, and he takes the round. There's a lot of mid-air collisions in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, as you guys will notice, and you can get a lot of damage out of it, depending if you get the counter hit. Once again, Jin gets swept through his special kick and throw, and here's another situation where Ken is able to put some pressure on using throws. So Jin on the approach right now, and I choose to tag in Kazuya, which was probably not the best idea. FLOE maximizes the damage and actually gets me out of a fireball. That was pretty cool. Able to catch Kazuya with his Hurricane Kick, and this is going to be some pretty good damage. I'm not too sure if I'll be able to capitalize on the whole thing. Maybe if I go into Cross Rush, yes. That's about the most damage I can possibly get through that whole combo, and a good solid 21 hits. Low forward into the Hurricane Kicks with Kazuya, and that takes the round. It was actually our one high attack. I'm sorry, I think it's a one low attack, two low attacks, and then a mid attack. That might be how it is. FLOE takes a roundhouse to the face at the start, and then walk up throw. Techs the throw, not falling for that stuff anymore. Wow, easy jump in, goes straight into the special step, and maximizes the damage. He might have been able to get more with Rufus in the end there, but it was still pretty good. Rufus is a very scary character, but so is Ken's uppercut, and he gets some good damage with Kazuya. I'm using that double medium on the ground because it's a really solid frame trap, and it works very well for damage as well. I unfortunately did not go for the follow-up, but he did with his, and he gets the most damage possible. Now Ken is riding less than 25% health, but Kazuya is in and gets the most damage possible off of the combo ender. But FLOE is just nailing those special steps like crazy. He's got that motion down really good. I asked him after these games what was he using to consistently get the special step in through his combos, and he said he was using the double motion with the double fireball motion. But I go into the Team Super, and this should just about do it, and that'll take the round for Kazuya and Ken. There are a lot of motion inputs that you guys can use to make the special step a bit easier. I think I'll make a video later on explaining some of the methods that you can do to make that a bit easier. However, for myself right now, I'm still using like the basic forward, down, down, forward method because I'm just getting used to it, even though that's probably one of the harder ways to do it. So it's all about that muscle memory. Beginning of the game right here, and I think FLOE might just be holding down back for some reason. I'm not too sure, but here we go. Space things out, I get my charge, and there's a counter hit, full combo. Once again, that stuff is old Street Fighter 4 tactics, but surprisingly enough, that combo, like low short, standing jab, low forward, is a much tighter link than it was in Street Fighter 4. It was really easy in Street Fighter 4, and this one it's kind of hard. Get a counter hit in the air, tag in Kazuya for maximum like about 400 damage, and that's pretty decent. But Rufus is on the attack right now, and he got his Jin out just in time. If you see that standing roundhouse and standing forward with Kazuya end up being really good anti-airs, and I get some decent damage. Probably should have gotten more off of that EX. But another counter hit in the air, and you'll get some pretty good damage out of it. That's the thing with Rufus. If you meet him in the air and he chooses to dive kick a lot, you'll get a lot of damage. I'm not that afraid of Rufus in this game. I fought a lot of them, but wow, I choose to just get Ken in, and I luckily was able to not take too much damage out of it. But once again, throw out that uppercut in the middle of a block string, and it can be very valuable. I think it's really good because it's got more block stun than like an uppercut from Ryu, for example. Ken and Ryu are similar in this game, just as they usually are, but I like Ken more because he can be a little bit more offensive, and he has better like combo setups, which is why I love him with Kazuya, because they both have links that lead into special moves that can go into standing state combos that do not result in both the characters like juggling the opponent. So you can get some really long and extended combos using that slaughter high kick that you just saw right there. Wow, his EX Messiah definitely will beat my uppercut, and I got a little bit too anxious with the other uppercut, and Rufus's sturdy wall bounce combos take that stuff pretty easily. That stuff does a ton of damage if you actually look at it. Rufus takes the round. Me and FLOE are tied 1-1, and I choose to do looks like a special move cancel. But standing jab into low forward, man, it's so good with Ken. You'd be really surprised. Choose to bring in Kazuya just to mix things up a little bit. But now FLOE is on the offensive. He's got that speed gem, and it makes a difference, man. It really does. But I'm able to capitalize on my combo, and this should do some pretty good damage. Go into Ken. I wonder if I'll use more meter here. I do, and this won't kill, but man, it's just so much. And I do not maximize the damage on Rufus's coming, and I do not take advantage of the counter hit in the air either, and here comes Rufus with like crazy ambiguous dive kick shenanigans. It can be tough to block that sometimes, but I actually prefer that the dive kick has a little bit more block stun than it usually did in like Street Fighter 4. I think it makes it a little bit easier to block. He does not capitalize on my whiffed uppercut, and ooh, this is going to hurt a lot. I think he might have been able to get more, but my uppercut into Kazuya gets some damage, and once again, low forward into Slaughter, high kick, get the most damage possible in the corner, and that is a KO. Like I was saying, Rufus is one of those characters that he's very scary and he's very good in this game. Once again, characters with dive kicks are still really good, but I'm not as terrified of him as I was in Street Fighter 4. I think he's a little bit easier to deal with, at least right now. I'm totally whiff an uppercut. Jin comes in and gets some pretty good damage. I go into my basic cross art or cross rush, and Kazuya's in now, taking advantage of that standing light punch chain. And you saw right there, I used the Sparta kick. Once again, trying to get it again, trying to catch him off guard with that mid attack, but he's not falling for it. It's a real interesting mix-up. If you knock somebody down with Kazuya, it's either a 50-50 mix-up where you can do that mid attack from like a mid-screen distance, or you can do a sweep because the sweep is so long. And it can be hard as hell to figure out which one they're doing. Like, I can get like 50% health on some people just from that mix-up alone. It's pretty ridiculous. I've got Rufus in the corner right now, and I'm trying to keep him there, but his extended pokes are making it difficult. I'm waiting for that EX Messiah, but here we go. Kazuya getting a ton of damage, and I did it too fast. And this is probably going to hurt a lot. And he did his too fast, so we're switching stuff right now. It's the exact same thing happening. Goes in low forward to special step combo, and Rufus gets some pretty decent damage. Beats out my reversal hard with a cross-up. He does not have any EX anymore, so he does not have any methods of having any get-off-me moves. That's one thing you got to realize with Rufus in this game, is that if he does not have EX, he can't say get off me at all. And there we go, Kazuya getting in with some of those chain combos that lead easily into safe moves. Chooses to Pandora with 1 second left, and FLOE recovered the life. If you saw what happened there, he actually recovered his life, but even in Pandora mode, the recovered life, I guess, does not count, because he would have won there in that situation, so that's pretty crazy. Jin with the special step into more mix-ups, and boots me in the face right at the start. Gets the most damage you can possibly get with Jin off of a single move. Standing light punch pressure. Keeping him in the corner, choosing not to cross up, but nope, he's able to jump in and keep me out of it. Counter hit, and if you're able to get counter hits in the air, it's really good. You can capitalize on it. That hurricane kick is super effective in this game, and wow. Crouching strong into crouching low forward, and this should just about do it into Team Super. Just one thing, like you collide in the air just once and it leads to that much damage. Street Fighter Cross Tekken can be crazy, which is why a lot of the time I'm willing to eat certain anti-airs. Like if a character has an anti-air that doesn't do that much damage, like look at that. That one anti-air did barely any damage to Jin. And that's why jumping is relatively safer in this game than usual, because not all characters have really reliable anti-airs. Ken's has a really good one, which is his medium uppercut. Ryu has the same thing with his medium uppercut as well, but sometimes it's worth it to take the risk to jump in, to take that little bit of damage on the jump in with the chance of you getting a ton of damage. At least right now, that could be a very much early thing in this game. FLOE does not catch the mid attack at the end. You got to be careful with that, and I think that entire move is actually safe as well, which is pretty crazy, and there's a ton of block stun as the result too. I take the first round, and we're starting off again with Ken and Jin, and FLOE misses the follow-up to the special step, and I missed the follow-up to the light uppercut, but everyone's dropping stuff right now. Pulling some pressure, and once again, FLOE is just on point with those combos. I really need to practice that stuff, because it makes Jin really effective, and everything he does feels safe. Goes for the overhead, it hits, but he does not get the Kazama 5-hit combo after. But now he's got the corner, and this should do an absolute ridiculous ton of damage. Just like that, knocks Ken out, and Jin takes the whole round by himself. KO. it's really worth it to use meter. I've noticed that FLOE likes using meter a lot in this game too, and it's one thing that I advocate for newer players is to use the meter. Use it on supers, use it on like your team moves. All that stuff is extremely damaging as long as you don't have like a ton of hits before your combo, which is why Rolento is an interesting character, because he's got so many hits before that if he chooses to do super at the end, it's not worth it. It's best just to wait to get something else. FLOE falling for a couple of Ken's throw mix-ups here. Throws are still very effective in the game, even though the range has been nerfed, the damage has been increased, it looks like. Sticking to the air with hurricane kicks, and once again I'm able to get a pretty long combo using both of these guys. Not too sure that was the best way to go about it, but it did get a pretty decent amount of meter. And wow, FLOE is on the offensive right now. This could do some... Wow, look how much damage that did. Showing you the power of Rufus in the corner. I don't know if there's much else I'll be able to get out of this. Nope, he goes into a straight link into a chain, and that'll just about take the round. So I hope you guys enjoyed this set of games I had with myself and FLOE. I'll try to get some other top players that actually know what they're doing in on this game, because right now I'm still in the learning phase, and everybody else is in the learning phase, but the top players are really showing off some impressive stuff, some real cool things that technology is being developed every day. I hope you guys also enjoyed the live commentary, and depending on your feedback, I might actually try to do a little bit more of this in the future. But as always, thank you very much for watching the video. This has been Maximilian, and I'll see you next time.